Hey guys, so I'm making ashwagandha root tincture today. Ashwagandha root is an amazing adaptogenic herb. Sorry about the screaming. It wasn't happening before. It's an amazing adaptogenic herb. It's a mood stabilizer. So the way that it works is if you are someone who suffers from anxiety, depression, just like any kind of imbalance with like mental health, basically. If you have an issue with mental health, which is very common, it helps to balance your mood. And the way that it works, because it's an adaptogenic, it essentially balances your mood. So a lot of herbs, the way that they work, they'll calm you, or, like they'll lower your blood pressure, or a different herb will raise your blood pressure. This is an herb that balances your mood. So if you're having a day where you're feeling extra manicky, it's going to bring your mood down to a healthy level. If you're having a day where you're feeling depressed and struggling, it's going to bring your mood up a little bit. So it brings you to that safe comfort zone based on how you're feeling. And I really like it because when I like it as a tincture, some people say, oh, I take it as capsules. The reason I like it as a tincture is because you can adjust the dosage according to how you're feeling. So the thing about ashwagandha is it may take up to 2 weeks to fully kick in. So I tell people, be patient, but it's worth it because it is an herb that does need to build up in your system for it to be effective. It's not like, passion flower or chamomile that you can just take and you're going to feel those relaxing effects, but it's worth it. So like I take this every day. For me, for example, I take it twice a day. I take about 7 to 10 drops depending on how I'm feeling. The first couple of days, I didn't notice too much of a difference. The third or fourth day, I noticed a little difference. And then each day progressively, I noticed more and more difference. And usually about 2 weeks, depending on the person. It could even take a week and be fully kicked in. If you notice after 2 weeks that you're not having the greatest results with it, try increasing your dose a little by a drop or two. And so the reason I like it as a tincture, like I was saying before, is with a capsule, if you take it and it's not quite working how you'd like it to, in order to use more and get it to be more effective, you have to take a whole nother capsule, and that's like doubling your dose. That's crazy. With this as a tincture, you can be like, okay, I wake up and I'm feeling good. I take 7 drops. The afternoon comes, my kids have been crazy, the house is a disaster, I'm stressed out, I have work I have to do, I'm a little overstimulated. I can take 9, 10 drops. And then the next morning I wake up and I know I have a crazy day and I'm like, oh my God, it's too much, 10 drops. So you can really play with the dosing based on your mood at that moment. It doesn't have to be exact dose every time you take it. And it's going to do a little extra work, or you may not need as much. You can take it a little lower. And it's just really great for that mental health balance. Now, it's also great because it helps with concentration too. So that's another huge benefit of it. I also like it because it does have mild cortisol reducing properties. So if you are someone who's extremely stressed out, when you're stressed, your body releases extra cortisol. This is going to help. It's not something I would say, oh, you have high cortisol, take this and it'll reduce it. That's something like that I would say would be Tulsi. This is just enough to take the edge off. It also does have blood sugar lowering properties. Mild, not huge, but it also helps improve insulin sensitivity. So just keep that in mind when you're taking it, because again, if you're taking too many things that reduce blood sugar, it can become an issue. But if you're minding that and you're paying attention to how you're feeling, it shouldn't be an issue. It also helps increase your body's production of white blood cells. So that's a huge benefit. Again, not a huge amount, but if you're someone who's struggling with that as an issue, you can take a dosage, see what your white blood cell count is, kind of work with your dosing to increase it based on the level of what you personally need for that. It's just really, okay. So there's some benefits to it. I'll get to that in a second, but essentially mental health, it's huge. But I also want to I say this, I want to be honest with you about it. For men, it does have the ability to increase testosterone levels, make them more fertile. It increases their sperm volume and count. So just keep that in mind. And with women, it's kind of works in the same way. It basically makes you more aroused when it's time. It increases your lubrication if you're having dryness in your area. And it also helps increase the intensity of orgasms. So I just wanted to be clear that there are effects with that. That's what it is. So it is good for someone who is having issues, male or female, with those issues. It does benefit that. Of course, it does have anti-inflammatory properties like any herb. Not something I would be like, oh, you have inflammation, take ashwagandha. But it's just like I call it the secondary property that, just an added little perk that is there for the benefits. And so, yeah, ashwagandha root, I have 150 grams in here, okay, in my 64-ounce jar. I'm going to fill this up with 80 to 100 proof vodka, cheapest brand you can find. You don't need that added flavor of the expensive brands. And when you're done making it, it's going to taste more herbally, because if you use the expensive brands, you'll tend to taste the more of the vodka. Also, if you use, if you use higher proof brands, or higher proof vodka, you're going to taste more of the vodka too. So I use 80 proof, and fill it up to the top, put a lid on it. You're going to, I'm looking for my lid. I'm like, did I grab a lid before the video? You're going to put a lid on it, and you're going to put it in a pantry, a cabinet, anywhere that's dark, room temperature. You can even go so far. Some people will just put like a sock over it, like a black sock, anything to get the light out of it. And let it sit for 6 weeks, guys. It's 6 to 8 weeks. It's a root, so you can always let it sit 8 if you want it a little bit more. Usually that's enough for you though. 8 weeks is top, what I would let it sit. And then after that, you can strain out your ashwagandha root and you'll have ashwagandha tincture. You can also leave it in there. If you use, like me, a big jar like this, when I'm ready to use this, I don't have to strain this. I can literally let this sit in here until the alcohol level goes lower and lower and lower. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. And as long as the herb level is below the alcohol level, it's safe to keep in there. And so once it gets low enough though, I don't like to risk it like anything like that area. I'll empty it, but it's not going to hurt it as long as the herb is below vodka level. It won't grow mold or bacteria. But if you want to strain it, throw out the herb, compost it, whatever you want to do with it. And you have your ashwagandha tincture. And if you're looking for dosing, I have it on my website. You can go on there, and if you don't feel like this is something you're quite comfortable making yet, I do also carry it on my website in a 1 ounce, a 2 ounce, and a 4 ounce. So it's there for you. If you want to start taking it now, you can grab one on my website while you're making yours and waiting the 6 weeks if you want to start immediately. Guys, honestly, I swear by this. This is something I take regularly. But let me add that while I take it regularly, like any herb, you always want to take a break. And so I will rotate a little bit. I'll take it some weeks I'll take it like once a day. Some weeks I'll take it twice a day, but not on the weekend. Some weeks I'll try to take 4 or 5 days off from taking it. And the good thing is, because it builds up in your system, you don't notice too much of, you do notice a difference, but not too much. And you can use other things to supplement while you're not taking it, like, passion flower, lemon balm, chamomile, anything that's calming, just to kind of get you through. But like any herb, you want to take a break, right? Because then you're going to build up tolerance. You don't want it to become an issue. Then you can't take it at all, right? Because it's not working for you. But yeah, guys, ashwagandha, I can't tell you. This is my go-to. Like it's one of my favorite things that I take. I've worked with friends of mine who I've suggested it to, and they message me and they're like, Tiff, I didn't get my order, and because they order for me, and they're like, I didn't get my order and I'm out of it, and I can totally tell the difference and I really need it. So, definitely it works. And I highly recommend it if you or someone you love is struggling with mental health. 10 out of 10 recommend. All right, guys, I'm going to go. This video has been long enough, but if you have any questions, comment in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Again, this is something I take, so I know a lot. Not that I don't know about other things, but this I've personal, one-on-one with. And I definitely believe that it could benefit you. So, all right, take care, guys. Bye.